Hey everyone! Well, I want to start off by first off just thanking you so much for hanging out with me and spending some time with me today. Here's what we're going to cover in this webinar. I'm going to share with you who I am. I am going to share with you why you should even consider coaching for Beachbody. I'm going to explain my thoughts on some very common hesitations, ones that you may even be having while you're sitting here watching this webinar. I'm going to explain to you what a coach does. I'm going to share with you who I am dying to work with. I'm going to share how we will work together and what you're going to get from me. You'll learn what coaching has done for me and a few others and why I love this profession so much. You're going to get an idea of what coaching could do to improve your current situation and possibly even completely reshape your future. And finally, I'm going to share with you what some next steps are. So I want to introduce myself to you so you can get to know me a little better. I am a part-time soldier musician in the National Guard. I am a full-time pre-medical student, and I'm a Beachbody coach. But before I found Beachbody around a year ago, I was just a pre-med student who worked part-time at a hospital and also part-time as a National Guard soldier. I was feeling so crushed, just so crushed, under around $200,000 worth of debt, which includes a lot of student loans. Back in 2014, I decided to quit my job. I was a full-time Army musician, so I quit that job to pursue medicine. And the reason I did that was kind of twofold. First, I was feeling really stunted in my job. I worked really hard to be the best I could be at my job. And I was often kind of outshining those who outranked me, but I just was not able to move up in the Army as fast as I would like to suit my ambitious nature. Because I'm super ambitious. And the second reason was that musicians in the Army are enlisted. And really the only problem with that for me is that I went to college and college came with a lot of loans. And I don't know if you're familiar with the Army or not, but enlisted pay is meant for people who have not gone to college. So it was really becoming a big struggle for me and my husband to meet our bills each month and pay down our debt as well. So, to me, we were really just circling a big old drain. And I began to consider ways that I could earn more money in hopes that we could really start to make a dent in those loans. And so I decided, medicine was interesting to me. It allowed me to help others and it would satisfy my ambitious nature, but also it would pay me a lot more money and that would help us with our financial situation. So I left my job to pursue medicine. Now, around that same time, I had been pretty depressed over a pattern that had developed in my health where I was cycling around 20 pounds per year. Like I would lose it and I would gain it. And in the Army, and I'm not going to get into my entire story about this, but you are required to meet some pretty specific weight requirements, and I was just having a lot of trouble doing that. So I heard about 21 Day Fix last August, and I decided to give it a shot. I got plugged in with Shakeology, with my coach, and in a challenge group, and I started to feel better than I had in such a long time. I totally fell in love with the supportive environment and the accountability of the challenge group from the very first day. So my coach encouraged me to consider the coaching opportunity. And even though I was working a job at the hospital, I was working in the National Guard, and I was a full-time pre-medical student, I could really see the value and the potential of being a coach. So I started researching it. And I am a big-time researcher, by the way. It took me around a month of researching this opportunity every day before I joined. But I decided to take a leap of faith in September of last year, and I signed as a coach, and I hit the ground running. So here are some other facts about me that you don't yet know. So I told you I'm an introvert, but I am one of the biggest introverts I know. I thrive on my alone time, and talking one-on-one to people, it just drains me like crazy. But here's another thing. I had a terrible experience when I was 18 years old that completely tarnished my opinion of sales and everyone in sales, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. I also have a really hard time with anxiety. I have social anxiety and even a slight tendency towards depression. I have been a chronic self-sabotager for a good portion of my life. I suffered limiting beliefs such as I don't deserve this or that, and I'm not good enough. And I was definitely not an authority on a healthy lifestyle prior to joining Beachbody. I didn't have a large network. And truly, I mean, I have always been more comfortable with a few deep friendships than a bunch of surface ones. So, whatever you might think about yourself and why you couldn't make this business work, I have probably shared your circumstances. Okay, so why did I even decide to coach with Beachbody? Lindsay Matway is one of our top coaches, and I just love the way that she framed this for me, so I'm going to share it with you. So let's just take a second and consider the typical routes that people take to earn money in their life. Usually, people go one of three ways. They'll go to college, they'll get a job, or they'll start their own business by opening up a franchise. So for those that go to college, the average in-state tuition for the 2015 and 2016 year was around $9,410. And then when you spread that out over 4 years, and it actually took me 6 years to get my undergrad for a couple reasons that I won't share here, but it's going to cost around $37,640 to get whatever degree you're going after. And that's all with the hope, by the way, that's all with the hope of getting a job in your field afterwards. Many times, in order to guarantee a job in your field, you have to go on and get a graduate degree, which I also have, by the way, or some kind of specialty education. And the majority of students that I went to school with are not working in their field. And really, this amount is a low estimate based on the population that I was around, and is actually only around a third of the amount that I personally spent on college. But people very willingly invest their time and money into this system. I mean, I did. I very willingly invested my time and money into this system that has no guarantees of advancing your financial situation. So for those who aren't interested in college or aren't quite sure what they want to do, the usual route is they're just going to start applying, for jobs. And I don't want you to get the wrong idea here. I actually think more people should really wait to start paying to go to college. It takes a lot of courage to wait and get a job, but I mean, if we think honestly here, it's pretty hard to provide for yourself or a family on the typical job that you can get without some sort of credential. But for the sake of this discussion, we are just going to look at the average salary in my state, North Carolina, and that's around $41,250 per year, or if you break that down, it's around $1,718 every 2-week paycheck. And that is pre-taxes, by the way. Also, just FYI, the median number of paid vacation days was 10 for the year, and your paid time off has really a lot to do with how long you've been with your company. So, and the third option is to purchase a franchise with a well-known company, and I actually had to learn more about this because I really didn't know much about this at all, and I found out that the median cost to open up a franchise is around $200,000. With, many well-known companies charging a lot more. So for example, if you were to open up a McDonald's, you'd have to have $750,000 in liquid assets. If you wanted to open up a Burger King, you would have to have $2.2 million net worth. That's crazy. Also, the average annual profit for that McDonald's is only around $500,000 a year. So the franchise owner, they may not even break even their first year. But the advantage of that is that you're buying into a company that's, typically anyway, that is already established. So you're kind of relieving yourself of the pressure of developing your own brand, that may or may not catch on. Okay, so what if you could purchase a franchise for $160? So let's discuss the risks here to kind of get an idea of how I could compare the coach and the franchise owner. Like I said before, the franchise owner has invested a significant amount of money into this venture. They may have mortgaged their home. They may have spent their life savings. They have what we like to call skin in the game, and that basically means that you have so much invested that you cannot afford to fail. So on the flip side, the investment to become an active coach is $160 up front and $15.95 every month after that. And the $160 that you pay gets you a workout program of your choice and either 1 month of Shakeology or 1 month of performance supplements, plus several other tools to help you rock out your own results. That investment is so low in comparison to a big franchise that many coaches don't value it the same way as they would like a $500,000 franchise. They devalue it or they treat it like a hobby, and therefore it pays like a hobby. But on the flip side, if that same coach realized the immense value of what they just invested in, if they treated it like a $100,000 investment, became their own best coach, it could become the 6-figure business that they want to have. So here's the benefit comparison of a franchise owner and a coach. So as a franchise, you are buying into an established brand, like I mentioned before. You don't have to invest any of your own time into marketing ideas. But the downside is that you're required to do it exactly as the company lays out, whether that's in line with your personal vision for your franchise or not. You don't have any creative freedom with a franchise, no matter what direction that franchise takes. But as a coach, you're also buying into an established brand. Beachbody spends over $150 million per year in advertising. They are the most recognizable health and fitness brand out there. They have the official supplement line of the Ironman competition. All you have to do is mention P90X or Insanity or 21 Day Fix, and most people are going to know what you're talking about. They are continuously developing new products to help our customers get the best results. And we as coaches, we don't have to put a single dime of our own money into that product development, nor do we absorb any of the risk if a product launch doesn't go well. Likewise, we have the freedom to create our own personal marketing brand. We use these amazing products to help people, but we get to choose our focus. So some people come from a fitness background and they love that aspect, so that becomes their marketing focus. Some people are more nutrition focused or mindset or business focused. You get to marry your own personal interests with the products that we carry and develop your own brand and marketing strategy. You never have to compromise on your own values, and that is so very special to me. Okay, so hesitations are really common, and I'm going to share a couple of the most common ones with you here. So the very first thing that people always want to know, and rightfully so, rightfully so, is this a pyramid scheme? So I find that when most people ask if this is a pyramid scheme, they don't really know exactly what that is. They just know it's bad and that they should stay away from it. And I actually was one of those people. I had to research what makes a pyramid scheme because I really wasn't clear on it myself. But it's definitely something you're going to want to stay away from. So first things first, pyramid schemes are illegal. Companies that are built on pyramid schemes are going to get shut down once they're discovered, and that leaves everybody involved at a financial loss. So here are some characteristics of a pyramid scheme. Oh, and FYI, I got this information directly from the Federal Trade Commission. Okay, so the first sign of a pyramid scheme is that the entire business model is based on the promise of making lots of money off of recruiting lots of people. So for example, if the cost was like $500 and I made $250 every time someone signed up, that would raise a red flag. But in Beachbody, I don't make a dime more off of your coach sign up than I do if you were to buy one of our products as a customer. The commission is exactly the same. The second red flag of a pyramid scheme is something called inventory loading. And basically that's a model that requires the new distributor to purchase way more initial product than they would ever realistically sell, and they often will require that purchase at an inflated rate. So Beachbody does not require us to keep any inventory at all, and everything that we buy with our money is for our own personal consumption. So that initial investment of $160 that I was talking about, everything that comes with that investment is designed for your personal use on your own health journey. In fact, our policies and procedures specifically prohibits inventory loading or encouraging members of your own downline to inventory load. So this next one's just a little extra information for you, but have you ever heard of a Ponzi scheme? Once I started researching this, to me, in my mind, it's even worse than a pyramid scheme, because in a Ponzi scheme, there is no inventory traded. There are no goods. The new distributor pays X amount of dollars to sign up, and the distributor above them gets a cut of that money. And so you're encouraged to sign up as many people as you can, but there's no exchange of goods or services. That is bad news bears, and that is definitely illegal. So what makes Beachbody a legitimate company? So according to the FTC, legitimate multi-level marketing companies like Beachbody have real products to sell. They sell them to the general public without requiring anyone to pay anything extra to sign up as a distributor, or in our case, as a coach. You also don't have to be a coach to purchase our products, which is another sign of a legitimate MLM business model. Also, we have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, and integrity is a huge factor for me, and Beachbody is very careful to abide the law. Okay, so now that we have the nitty-gritty out of the way, let's not let the structure scare us. Here is an example of the typical corporate structure. So we have the CEO that sits at the top, and you have the pyramid structure all the way down to the bottom where the employees sit. The employees are the lowest paid, and the likelihood that any employee will become the CEO or get paid anywhere close to the CEO's pay scale is incredibly slim. We are definitely familiar with these structures as a society. We accept them, and we don't feel a moment's hesitation applying to work as a manager, supervisor, or employee based on our education credentials. Now, I know this photo is a little tongue-in-cheek, but we have been so conditioned to go out and get a good job and work your way up. But the truth is, the majority of people have no chance of getting to the top of whatever corporation they're working for. So instead of giving that company all your money, like in a pyramid or a Ponzi scheme, we willingly give them 20 or more years of our life, knowing that we will never truly advance to the kind of lifestyle we are dreaming of. What it boils down to is that people are scared of network marketing because it all depends on you and your desire to work. There's no guarantees, and that's just like any entrepreneurial venture. There's no guarantees. So another common hesitation I hear is that I don't like sales, or I don't want to sell stuff. Can I just tell you for a minute how much I hate sales? I will share briefly about an experience that I had when I was 18. I was in my second year of college, and my mother was just diagnosed with terminal cancer. I had to take a semester off from school to figure out how in the world I was going to fund my education once my mom started getting medical care. So I was out looking for jobs, and I went to interview for what I thought was an administrative position at a local vacuum store. I am not going to share the name of that vacuum store because I am not even trying to get into legal trouble by sharing this story with you. But when I got there, I was immediately interviewed and hired. Woo! Yay, I thought, right? But when I started asking questions about the typical paperwork, the tax paperwork that comes with getting a new job, I was told, meh, don't worry about that. So the next day I arrived for work, and I was seated in a room with several other people while the owner, which was the man who hired me, started giving his morning sales meeting. And I didn't really understand why I had to be in that meeting since I was going to be organizing files and such. And at the end of the meeting, I was paired up with a more experienced salesman to go canvassing neighborhoods and selling vacuums. So, at this point, I knew, I had been confused or somebody had been mistaken or something, but I thought, okay, I need some money. This is a good vacuum. I'll give sales a try. I'll see. Who knows? Maybe I can make some good money. But when I was in that van, the sales guys told me I had to do whatever I had to get in the door of the house and show the vacuum. He said I should lie and tell them I was getting $25 just to show it, or tell them I was getting college money from the company to show the vacuums. And we all know that I wasn't getting jack to do any of that. I did this for 2 or 3 days max, and my integrity couldn't handle it anymore, and I just quit. I could not believe that I was being asked to lie in order to sell products. And that experience has forever shaped my view of everyone that sold anything. I'm 33 years old right now. That happened when I was 18. And even now, my initial thought is that I'm going to be lied to just so that somebody can get a sale. It was like a terrible experience, and I wish it had never happened. So you're like, okay, how does somebody end up doing something like this after an experience like that? Well, here's what I know. I know what a difference Shakeology has made for my health. I know what a difference these fitness programs have made for my body. I know that I have been struggling for years, literally people, years, to move forward in my weight loss journey. And once I got plugged into a challenge group, all of that began to change. And I also know that there are people out there just like me, struggling just like me, that can benefit not only from the products, but from the amazing community that we have. Also, the company's mission statement aligns perfectly with my values. Here's what it is: helping people to live healthier and more fulfilling lives. I'm going to say that again. Our company's mission statement is helping people to live healthier and more fulfilling lives. That is beautiful, right? And when I hear our CEO speak and the passion in his voice when he talks about helping to reverse the trend of obesity in this country, it gets me so fired up because that was me. I was so stuck. I was lost. I was unhappy. But now I've got this amazing community that I can turn into an amazing business that helps people. So, how do I manage my hatred of sales, which is still very much with me and makes me a skeptic of most everything, and run a business of my own? Well, I never ever run my business in a way that makes me feel gross or icky. I definitely never lie. And even though that I may lose out on the occasional sale because of that, I am able to sleep at night because I know that my main focus shouldn't be, how much can I sell? Instead, it's how can I help this person find the right solution to their problem? Okay, so what do we do as a Beachbody coach? Put simply, we lead by example by being committed to our own health and fitness journey, and we motivate and inspire others along the way to join us either as challengers or as coaches. So that photo on the left, by the way, that's me at over 300 pounds. Okay, so broken down a little bit more, we put people in touch with programs and supplements that are going to help them reach their goals. We run and organize challenge groups that provide daily support and encouragement for them. And a big part of long-term success for people is being surrounded by a community of like-minded individuals. That has been documented and proven that you are a lot more likely to stick with it if the people that you see on a daily basis have the same goals. I mean, think about it. Are you going to be motivated to put down the chips and salsa? Hey, that's my case. I don't know what your vices are. And get off the couch to exercise if everybody else around you has chip crumbs and salsa stains on their shirt? I'm not. So a big part of what we do involves finding your niche market, like your ideal customers that you were born to help, and marketing to them in various ways via social media. So if you are familiar with or have ever been a part of any network marketing companies, you'll know that it's been done pretty much the same way for around 60 years. You talk to everyone you know, you talk to people you don't know, you talk to people you meet in the supermarket, and honestly, it is kind of hard to knock that system because it creates incredible wealth for a lot of people out there. But, as I said before, I am a big introvert. It is not natural for me, and in fact, it causes me great anxiety to spend all day, every day, talking to random strangers about these amazing products and this amazing coach opportunity. So I've reinvested a good bit of my own earnings into trainings that are allowing me to bypass that method altogether. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't reach out to the people that I know and love, because these products have literally saved the lives of people that I know. And I definitely share that with people that are in my life. And if you care about the people that are in your life, you're going to do the same because you know what a difference this can make for them. But as to, randomly prospecting strangers at the store or adding random people to my Facebook account and then soliciting them for sales, I don't do that in my business. And I don't think you have to either. Unless that really suits your personality. Some people love talking to random people. They're very good at building trust quickly. And there are those of you who out there, who are that person, and that is totally okay. But that's not me. So there's nothing random about the system that I have in place. I target those people who I feel I am personally best equipped to help, and I market to those people. So those people are often people who are where I was, or, in the context of coaching, they're people who are ambitious and driven and just dissatisfied in their current situation like me. So who am I looking to lock arms with? Put simply, I'm looking for people who are willing to work hard to build the life they want. And truthfully, anyone can sign up as a coach. And I have plenty of friends and family that do this coaching for the discount or as a hobby. But that's not why I'm marketing. I'm recording webinars. I'm trying to find the right fit for my team. Because really there are so few jobs in life where you have total control over who you work with, right? I can think of so many jobs I've had where I would have done anything to choose the type of person that I spent my day with. So let's get one thing out of the way first, okay? Here are some qualifications that don't matter to me. I don't care if you've got 100 pounds to lose or if you are already competing in figure competitions. Honestly, either scenario and every body composition in between can make a difference as a coach. I'm not yet at my goal weight, and I get so many messages from people saying how my journey, sharing my journey is inspiring them to take better care of themselves. And that is such a wonderful way to live life. I don't care if you don't know the first thing about marketing or Facebook ads or social media. Though if you already do have a background with this, you're going to have a great start and a wonderful way to contribute to our team. I also don't care if you've got any formal nutrition or exercise background, but if you do, then you'll be able to use that in your personal branding and it's going to help you out. But what I want to really drive home here is the fact that none of that is crucial in this business because, like I mentioned before, Beachbody pours millions of dollars into those fields. What people need us for as coaches is just to keep them accountable, on track, and getting their results. So that's what I get to do now. So if it's not clear, I want to be so very clear. I want to work with people who are going to work as hard as I do. I want to go talk with my team and be motivated and challenged by the people on it. Especially at the beginning while you're getting the hang of things in this business and setting up your marketing, you're going to be working hard. You will be making sacrifices. You may be skipping TV shows like Netflix might be off the table. Candy Crush, you might need to put that down. You might have to stop reading magazines. And if you are not willing to make sacrifices, then honestly, you are not ready to run a business. It's just part of the game. All entrepreneurs know this. But for some reason, sometimes new coaches think that this is some sort of get rich quick scenario that is just going to happen without effort. I signed up as a coach. Everyone will flock to me. That's crazy to me. I don't get it. So let's have some real talk here, okay? If you are in some kind of situation where you have a lot of free time, like I am, for example, when I'm out of school for the summer, then you have an incredible opportunity to get this business off the ground quickly. But if you are still working your full-time job, maybe you have kids, you have church commitments, you have community commitments, I'm going to challenge you to make it work. Here's what I expect. I expect 10 to 15 hours per week working or more if you can manage. And you're probably thinking, what? Well, there are tons of coaches who realize that this can create more time for them later if they sacrifice now. There are tons of coaches who are nurses, they're doctors, they're lawyers, they're busy professionals, and they're creating the time because they know what this can do for them. I'm not playing around. Think of it this way, okay? If you needed extra cash and you went to apply for a part-time job, you aren't going to blink twice that they expect anywhere from 15 to 20 hours a week from you. And they're going to pay you minimum wage for that time, 15 to 20 hours per week, right? Just to give you an idea of what I'm doing, this summer, I've been working 12 to 14 hours a day on my business because I want it to grow quickly and significantly. So too many people give this opportunity hobby hours, and what I mean by that is that anywhere from 2 to 7 hours a week, and they wonder, why is my business not growing? Why is this not going anywhere? They aren't treating it like a job. They're treating it like a hobby, so it's going to give them returns like a hobby. So I want to work with people who have big dreams, and they are willing to do whatever it takes to achieve them. And if you're listening to me and you're thinking, yes, I work my ass off in my job and I'm not getting anywhere. Yes, I've been kept up at night, just wrecked, not knowing what I can do to pay off these student loans or these credit cards. Yes, I know that I am destined for something great and helping people is my passion. Then I think you and I would get along just swimmingly. Here's the deal though. Because I'm looking for people who are serious, I'm only accepting 15 people into my new coach training each month. I want to make sure that I can give my very best to my new coaches so that they can get the best start in their business. All right, so I've been pretty hard-lined about who I'm looking for, and if you're still with me on this webinar, if you haven't been please, and shut it off by now, you're probably wondering, okay, I am ready to kick some ass. I want to be one of your 15, but what do I get from you? And honestly, if that thought hasn't crossed your mind, then it should. So first thing, you're going to get me leading by example. If you have questions, you will have the team training, you'll have team calls, you'll have my contact information, you have Google to help set it straight. The one thing I'm not going to do for you is work for you. I am not going to do your work for you. If you sign up and you simply decide not to do anything with this, I can't make you and I'm not going to do it for you, but I will so be there for you. I will be there for you whenever you decide you're ready to start. So also, you're going to get plugged into my team and all of my upline teams. There is seriously going to be no shortage of information, inspiration, or resources for you. If you're on my team, like my personally sponsored coaches, I expect them to be self-motivated and interested in learning. I don't coddle anyone, like that's not my style. But in return, you will have access to million-dollar earners on this team sharing their advice and insight with you daily. You're going to get my personal team training. So like I said, network marketing has been done a certain way for a long time. And the million-dollar earners on our team have done things, sort of the traditional way. And if you find that you like this, if that gets you excited to get out of bed in the morning, by all means, you can keep going in that direction. But what you won't get elsewhere is the marketing and branding training that I'm going to provide. The exact step-by-step directions to show you how I'm running my business every day to attract like-minded people to me, you will get. The way that you found me and this webinar, I'm going to teach you exactly how I've done this and how you can do it too. So in your own job, you're likely contributing ideas, or at least you're trying to. And trust me, I've been there in the position where nobody wants to listen to what you have to say, even though you know that your contribution is important. But I like to foster a collaborative environment in my team, and my upline teams do that as well. Network marketing is one field where sharing is rampant, because the more you succeed, the more we all succeed. So in fact, much of the content of this webinar is borrowed from the webinars of other coaches because I liked it, it made sense to me, and I found it valuable to share with you. So you are not responsible for reinventing the wheel here. You just have to make things your own. There is no fear of negative competition on our team, and that makes collaborating a lot of fun. So you'll have a place to do that. You're going to have a place where your voice will be heard and respected. You're also going to be joining a team of like-minded people. You hopefully will all have the same work ethic and drive, and that is the environment that I want to foster. If you've always wanted to be inspired by hard workers, then you will definitely be in the right place. I didn't really understand how unique Beachbody is until I attended the annual conference. We call that Coach Summit. I was able to attend this summer, and I made friends with complete strangers in the span of 2 days. And actually, my husband, Eric, was so moved by the community that he decided to become a working coach, and he set a goal to retire himself from the Army. And he said, he has never felt such a sense of purpose and community anywhere. And I mean, God, what a wonderful community to be a part of. Okay, so I wanted to share a lot of photos on this slide because I used to really hate photos of myself. I thought I was really ugly. I thought that because I was overweight, I was not worth looking at. But I have grown so much in this last year, and every single one of these photos show some milestone that I have experienced. Every picture in this collage shows me overcoming something that scares me. Fear is normal to me now. I embrace it and I use it as motivation to move forward and create my dreams. Last year, there was no way in hell you would catch me doing a webinar about this opportunity. But once I joined Beachbody and I began to work on myself from the inside out, a lot of things began to change for me. My body began to change, my mindset began to change, and I started letting go of those limiting beliefs that I mentioned earlier because I just discovered that they were completely baseless and all they were doing was holding me back. I also met an amazing success partner, and she and I communicate almost daily. She is a huge part of my success thus far. I've been able to create a modest income that has allowed me to put extra money toward our debt every month. Sometimes we'll use some of that money to make improvements on our house, like we spruced up our back porch. Sometimes we'll use bits of that money, I'll take Eric out to the movies at the spur of the moment, and I'm always able to cover the cost of my Shakeology each month. And that is very special to me, that I get to do something that I love and I'm able to generate income that is helping our financial situation. I've been able to create a growing business and I cannot wait to help others do the same. I've been able to go to the annual Coach Summit. You see that picture in the top left there. And I met amazing people that inspire me to do and be better. I've even been working to earn a trip to the Hard Rock Punta Cana, and that is in the Dominican Republic. I've never been to a resort or the Caribbean before, and I cannot wait for that trip. But the most important thing is that I've been able to create a business where I feel excited to come to work every day. Like, I love working on content that helps people get the results they want so desperately. I've been able to create a system that works with my severe introversion, and it brings me incredible fulfillment at the same time. And I know it's going to create the kind of income that I need to pay off the debt that I have accumulated and live the life that I desire to have. But you might be wondering, well, what is the potential for this kind of business? I haven't reached it yet, not by far. And, I like to see what's possible. So I want to share with you some of the top coaches on our team. So this here is Jessica Bowser Nelson, and she is one of my favorite people. She's so incredibly giving, and I just love Jessica. Okay. But before Beachbody, she used to be a server. She worked, she waited tables for a long time. She was in a broken marriage, and she always says that she just felt like she was stuck in her life. She is incredibly driven and ambitious, and she knew deep down that she was meant for more. She started out 5 or 6 years ago by doing insanity and drinking Shakeology at a really dark time in her life. And honestly, she says that she just joined because she wanted a discount on the shake that she loved so much. But she very quickly saw the kind of potential that was possible with this business, so she went all in, and now she is a $1 million earner. She was able to shred her mortgage on stage at the Beachbody Coach Summit a couple years ago. She has built her dream home, which is gorgeous, by the way. She even recently started a side business of flipping houses, and she is still kicking ass and taking names as a Beachbody coach. She's actually also a cast member of Insanity Max 30, which is the workout program I'm doing right now. So it's pretty cool that I get to work out with her a few times a week. She has an awesome team culture that you're going to be a part of. And like I said, she is such an incredibly giving person. I'm so blessed that she is in my life. Okay, so Tasha Bachman is on the far left. And I chose her story because she's a military wife, which is also my story. I'm a military wife. And she was a mom, and she was just unhappy with the baby weight that she had gained. So that's how she started using the Beachbody programs. But she really felt called to coach because she saw an opportunity to retire her husband, Brian, from the military, which he had grown to hate. Brian was an infantryman in the Army. So she began coaching, and Brian quickly saw the potential as well. And so together they have teamed up, and they're like this power coaching couple, and they have been able to retire Brian from the Army in, I think, 2 or 3 years. They moved to Florida with their family. They bought their dream home. They bought a new Mercedes recently, which was really special for them because it was the first time in either of their lives that they'd owned a new car. And they've just been able to create the kind of freedom that has allowed them to be home with their kids. Like, they're present every day in their kids' lives. They were able to spend the whole summer with them just at home. And they worked their full heads off, by the way, because they had a goal with a deadline, but they were able to make it happen. And that's what's so cool about this business. Okay, so next is Alicia. And I chose Alicia's story because she's a soldier in the Army Reserve, and I am also a soldier in the National Guard. So, but before Beachbody, she was a corporate employee, and she was making pretty decent money, but she wasn't really satisfied because, her current situation didn't match with her vision for the future. She really wanted to stay home with her kids. So she decided, she started with Insanity because she wanted to keep her weight down for the Army, and she decided to pursue coaching on top of her busy job, on top of her Army commitment on the weekends, and on top of being a mom to 2 kids, because she just had this vision where she thought, I could be home with them, So actually she was working hard as a coach, and she found out very unexpectedly one day that she was laid off from her corporate job. So she dug even deeper as a coach, and now she's making more money than she did when she was working at her corporate position. And thanks to Beachbody, she was able to take her kids on their first trip to Disney, which as a parent is probably a really special thing. And they built their dream home recently. So what could coaching do for your life? Well, honestly, I mean, aside from all the financial possibility that's there, this might be the first place in your life where you've been rewarded for going above and beyond in your job. Like, I know when I was full time in the Army, I loved to go above and beyond. Like, it's my personality and in my character, but the Army doesn't often do very much to reward that. Like, I didn't get extra vacation time for working extra hard. I did sometimes get awards or the occasional shout out, but that really didn't make much of a difference for anything other than like how pretty my uniform looked. I certainly didn't get gifts, retreats, cruises, resort vacations, annual growth and training trips, or anything fun like that in the Army for going above and beyond. So that picture in the middle there, that is where I am taking my husband on vacation in 2017. That is the Hard Rock Punta Cana Resort. We have never been to a resort in the Caribbean, much less had an all expenses paid vacation. And honestly, the more successful you are in this company, the more of these kinds of rewards you will earn. Beachbody cares that you grow. So they often reward you with like exclusive webinars and trainings with some of the world's leading figures in business, entrepreneurship, and self-improvement. And I don't know about you, but I cannot think of the last job I had that actually cared whether or not I became a better person. It's pretty cool because I've never been part of an organization that cared so deeply that its members grow personally as much as they grow professionally. So you've seen everything that I've shown you in this webinar. I've told you what your investment is, and I just want you, to think about this in the following way. So what if you signed up and you just sucked, okay? Let's think worst case scenario here. Nobody wanted to lock arms with you, but you got healthier. You started drinking Shakeology and working out consistently. Maybe you were able to overcome some of your own physical obstacles like I did. What if you just started feeling better? You were more present in your family's lives. You started having more energy and just feeling more alive. Would it be worth it? What if you share Beachbody with just one friend who was diabetic, or maybe they have chronic pain, or maybe they're depressed and on a downward spiral, and they are just praying that somebody is going to reach out and help them, notice them. It is a fact that some people just aren't in a place to get started on their own because they're feeling so defeated, and you are that person. You reached out and played a vital role in saving that person's life. Would that be worth it? What if you jumped wholeheartedly into this opportunity because you have a big vision for your future? You do the small, consistent daily tasks no matter what's going on in your life. You commit to being here a year from now, and whatever struggle comes your way, you fight through it and become better and stronger each day. You throw all of your energy into your work relentlessly, and in 2 years, you're making a 6-figure income by helping people. You're feeling more blessed and humbled and thankful than you ever have in your life. Would it be worth it? What if you thought, meh, forget about it? Coaching isn't for you for whatever reason. You're scared of failing, or maybe what others might think of you, or even if what if I don't even have what it takes? Whatever the reason, you just don't want to do it. Guess what? You don't have to. But I challenge you today to think about the things in your life that make you unhappy or miserable. What are you doing about them? 5 years from now, are you going to be having that same bad day? Are you going to be stuck at the bottom of your pyramid as an employee when you know that you are capable of more? What if you did something about it instead? Would it be worth it? Okay. I want to thank you again for hanging out with me today. I hope that you will give this some serious consideration. Like I said, if I, as like the big time introvert who hates sales, can succeed, you can succeed too. You're going to find the link to my application in the email that you got. And remember, I'm only selecting 15 people from the pool of applicants for next month's training. So I look so forward to hearing from you, and I hope that you have a very blessed day.